They say nostalgia is a clean, happy thing, but anyone who has ever looked back knows that isn't true. It's a sharp, quiet kind of pain, the realization that the most honest parts of your life are already behind you. I want to tell you 3 stories about a little black camera that used to sit on top of your family's television set. A camera that caught the version of you that doesn't exist anymore. No likes, no edits, no filters, just life, exactly as it happened. And that's why it hurts to watch. Story 1. The tape you couldn't delete. There was this one Christmas morning, maybe 1994, maybe 1997. You don't even remember the exact year. But the ache of seeing it now, that you remember. Your dad had just bought one, a JVC, a Sony Handycam, maybe a Panasonic with that little fold-out screen. And he pointed it at everything. The dog tearing into a gift box, your grandmother laughing at something nobody could remember, your little brother still half asleep in his pajamas, squinting at the light. And you probably groaned, "Dad, stop filming." You couldn't see it then. None of you could. Because here's the thing about a camcorder tape. You couldn't scroll back instantly. You had to rewind, you had to wait. And when you finally hit play, the image was grainy, the audio was tinny, and someone's thumb was covering half the lens. And yet, it was the most honest thing you had ever seen. No one had fixed their hair, no one had chosen a flattering angle, no one had deleted the take where they tripped over the rug or said something embarrassing. It was just the raw, unpolished, real version of your family. And what I've come to understand, years and years later, is that those imperfect moments were the dots. The moments you couldn't make sense of while they were happening. The awkward Christmas, the boring Sunday drive that someone decided to film, the birthday party where it rained. You cannot connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking backward. When you go back and watch that tape today, if you still have one, if you were lucky enough to keep it, those 30 seconds will wreck you. Not because something dramatic happened, but because you can now see, so clearly, that this was the good part. This ordinary Tuesday, this slightly too long zoom on a birthday cake. This is what life actually looked like. You had to trust that the camera was pointing at something worth keeping. And it was. It always was. Story 2. The tape that wore out. Here's something people forget about VHS tapes. They wore out. Every time you rewound and replayed them, the magnetic coating degraded just a little. The image got softer. The colors faded. Lines of static would start creeping across your grandmother's face, across your first steps, across the moment your parents slow danced at someone's wedding. And one day, you'd put the tape in, and the picture would just be gone. Most families lost their tapes this way, not in a fire, not in a flood, just from loving them too much, from watching them over and over until the tape simply couldn't hold the memory anymore. Some families recorded over them. That's the one that really hurts, isn't it? Someone needed a tape to record the Super Bowl, and so they grabbed one from the shelf. And they didn't know, or maybe they forgot, that underneath that game was Easter Sunday, 1991. Gone. And I think about how we responded to that loss, how it changed us. We didn't become less interested in capturing things, we became more. We bought better cameras, we made more tapes. We eventually moved to digital, where nothing would degrade, where storage was endless, where you could back everything up 3 times over. But something strange happened when the fear of losing everything went away. We stopped treating the footage like it was precious. We stopped watching it. We started collecting memories instead of living them. We pointed cameras at sunsets we never actually looked at. We filmed concerts we never actually heard.
The loss of those old tapes, as painful as it was, taught us something. Resilience doesn't come from protecting yourself from loss. It comes from what you do after the tape runs out. You pick up the camera again. You find what you love about being alive, about your people, your moments, your ordinary Tuesdays, and you don't stop pointing the camera at it, even knowing the tape will eventually wear thin. Don't settle for a life you never actually watch.
Story 3.
Perspective and urgency. There's a button on every camcorder that people forget about. Not play, not rewind, record. The blinking red light that meant something was being preserved right now in real time, whether you were ready or not. I've thought a lot about what it means to live with that red light on, to walk through your own life with the sense that this moment, this exact unrepeatable moment, is being captured. Not for an audience, not for a comment section, not for anyone but the people in the room. When you're young, you assume the tape is endless. You'll record later. You'll get to it next weekend, next summer, next year. Your parents will be there. Your grandparents will be there. Your childhood home will be there exactly as it was, with that same couch and that same smell and that same sound of the screen door. And then, one day, something happens. An illness, a move, a loss, and you realize the tape was never endless. It was always running out. It had a counter right there in the corner of the frame, a little timer, ticking, and everyone who held one knew on some level that when the tape ran out, the moment was over. That's not a sad thing, that's the most clarifying thing in the world. Because when you know the tape is finite, you stop wasting it. You stop filming things that don't matter and start pointing the camera at the faces of people you love. You stop waiting for the lighting to be perfect and just press record. Your time is limited, not in a threatening way, in a freeing way. The timer in the corner of the frame isn't there to scare you, it's there to remind you that what you're looking at right now through that little viewfinder is worth preserving. That is the inheritance those camcorders left behind. Not pixels, not megabytes, the understanding that the unfiltered version of your life, the one with the bad lighting and the background noise and the completely ordinary Tuesday, is the version worth watching. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stay unfiltered, stay present, stay human.